Hello! This video will help you get started with your TerritorySite account. If you haven't already created an account, please see our previous video on how to register an account with TerritorySite. But for now, we will assume that you already have an account and that upon your first login, such as this, you will find basically an empty website and you have to get started with your data. So you just created your account and it looks completely empty. The first thing you should do with TerritorySite is set up the maps for your congregation. Now that is true whether or not you're also going to track addresses later on. Most congregations, especially if they're not foreign language congregations, all they will need to do is manage their maps within this program. So we'll start with that. If the maps is what you're about to enter, the first map you should enter is the overall map of your congregation. We call that Territory 0. So I would start with that by adding a new territory. Click here, add a new territory. And you're asked for the basic information of that territory. Call it 0 and give it a name that makes it clear that is the congregation's territory. You just save it and you enter the new record. After you created the record, now you have to create the actual map. So click on 0, go under map, and you will be presented with the map designer. In our case, because we said that our congregation is in Denver, Colorado, the map is already defaulted to be in Denver. So now let's pretend that my congregation covers a large area within these highways. The way to design a map is to point towards the corners of your territory. The first 3 corners will be invisible. The first 2 will be invisible, but the third one will make your map shown. So I'll click here, here, and here, for example, and you'll see a map starting to form. It is important that you always go either clockwise or counterclockwise. So if you need to add a new point, you just do this and this, and pretty much this is the map of my congregation. You save it. You can click out of it to see how it would look once it prints out on a actual territory sheet, and you save it. If it wasn't good enough, you can always clear it. Maybe you want to zoom in and make it a little bit more precise than 1, 2, 3, and you can enter as many points as you want. 4, 5, 6, 7. Just keep on going on a clockwise fashion and you will see that the territory will adapt to the points that you enter. If you have to go in, just click out and then move that particular point more in, out to fit it, and you'll see this is a more precise fit to the territory of our congregation. You save it, and at that point you have your Territory 0. It's saved. If you go back to all of your territories, Territory 0, click on 0 again, click on map again, and you'll see that it's saved. Now Territory 0 has this particular feature where if you go on all territories and click global map, you will see that Territory 0 is displayed after you click this checkbox. See it there? So by showing Territory 0 here, we're showing again simply where our congregation as a whole is preaching. Territory 0 needs to be sliced up in multiple territories because there's probably a number of territories that are within this main territory. To do that, you just go back to all territories, click add a new territory, give it a number, number 1 in this case. You can give it a description. For example, it could be the streets or the area, anything that makes sense to you. You save it. And at that point you do the same thing. You click on Territory 1, you click on map, and you're presented with a map. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go more or less in the areas where we said we had our congregation territory, which is this one. And let's zoom in because more than likely the smaller territories are much smaller. So let's zoom in a little bit more, and let's pretend that my territory 0, after I clear the map, goes from here to here to here to here. Now to fit it, save it. Very good. I added my first territory. Now if I go to global map again, it will show me where territory number 1 is. I just created it. You will see it spin, and you will see how it's placed right there. If you were to zoom out a little bit and select to show territory 0, it will show you the global territory. Sorry, this is not rendering correctly. It will show you the global territory, that big triangle there, and in it, it will show you where territory 1 is. This is very useful because it shows you the progress you have in creating smaller maps within your global territory. So this was a quick review on how to create territories within an account. And it seems like the computer froze, but by now you should have a good idea that the first territory you create is always territory 0, which is the global map of the area that your congregation covers, and after that you can start creating one by one all the smaller territories. Thank you for listening.